Brian Wilpat, would you please call the... Here.
Alan Fox. Here. Jennifer Deek.
Here.
Maggie Smith.
Here.
Gary Dunlop. Chris Lau.
Here.
Bridget Todd Robbins.
Here.
Brian Wopat. Here.
All right, with 7 of the 7 board members present, I declare a quorum. I note that the agenda has been posted, distributed, and sent to the local media. With this in mind, are there any changes to the agenda? I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda as published.
So moved.
I'll second.
Right, Brian has moved, Chris has seconded to approve the agenda as published. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion to approve the agenda as published, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed signify by saying nay. The motion to approve the published agenda has passed. And I'm just double checking about public participation. There's nothing tonight. Okay, thank you. All right, moving on to the district administrator's report. Dr. Mueller.
Yeah, I'd like to take this time to congratulate our fall athletes for their dedication and participation. The varsity girls volleyball and cross country teams are both conference champs. The girls cross country team took first at the sectional meet and will compete at the state meet this weekend. The volleyball and boys soccer teams are regional champs and advanced to the sectional play this week. Also, our high school theater put on 2 plays this past weekend. The students performed the one-act version of Little Woman for their competition show. They also performed Night of the Stars, which is a show of vignettes to allow for more students to take part in the plays. And they actually are also moving on to sectionals. They did a great job. And I just want to mention we have one final open house on Wednesday evening, October 26th at 5 p.m. at Viking Elementary to an informational session for the referendum coming up on November 8th. And please join us. We'll be tours of the building and sharing information. So thank you.
All right, thank you. Moving on to reports and discussion. Executive Director of Finance and Operations, Julie Holmen, will present the 2022-23 budget, which is on tonight's consent agenda.
You're in luck. I actually won't present it again unless somebody missed the previous presentation this evening. So for the Board of Education, just want to know if you have any questions on the previously presented 22-23 original budget this evening.
All right. Any? Doesn't look like we have any questions.
Okay.
Next up, item 8.2, Julie Holmen will continue with the 2022 certification of the tax levy for consent tonight.
So as also presented earlier during the budget presentation, the recommendation is to certify a tax levy totaling $19,967,582 for taxes payable in 2023. That would be $11,919,263 for the general fund, $7,849,319 for the debt service fund 39, and $200,000 for the community service fund 80.
All right, thank you. All right, moving on to the consent agenda. For the consent agenda, the board has been furnished with background materials on each item or has discussed it at a previous meeting. These will be acted upon with one vote without discussion. If a board member wants to discuss any item, it will be pulled out of the consent agenda and will be voted on separately. All right, I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as provided.
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, Chris has made the motion. Brian has seconded. Is there any discussion? All those in favor of approving the consent agenda, please signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed, please signify by saying nay. Motion passes. Okay, to the board debrief. First, I will call upon board members and ask you to present any comments or committee reports you have. Barb, we'll start with you.
I have nothing tonight other than to say congratulations to our fall high school athletes.
All right, thank you. Alan?
Yeah, huge congratulations to girls cross country for winning sectionals, and volleyball and boys soccer to getting two sectionals and winning regionals. Fingers crossed we can make it to state and probably even win. Besides that, and I know you probably heard it a few million times by now, but make sure you get out and vote November 8th. It's an important part of the democratic process. Besides that, winter sports started. I think we're getting feedback. Winter sports, I know they just had their meeting today over in the council. Those are all getting ready to start up. Besides that, nothing else.
Good. Thank you, Alan. Maggie?
Yeah, I'll echo all of that. Make sure to talk with friends and neighbors about the referendum and remembering to vote. Thank you to everyone who helped to organize tonight's event, whether you were presenting or helping with logistics or technical difficulties. And then on a more somber note, on the heels of another school shooting in the national news, I wanted to take a minute and just express gratitude for the district's safety and student services team and law enforcement partners in Holmen who are continuing to monitor district safety plans and protocols, as well as to the building teams who are showing up every day. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Maggie. Gary?
I'd just like to tell everyone to make sure they get out to vote coming up, and make sure they get their neighbors out to vote, and their cousins and uncles and their friends, and get everybody out to vote. It's about time they righted this ship.
Okay, thank you, Gary. Chris?
Just everybody, thank you for coming out to the annual meeting tonight. Those presented and put it together, that's a big help for us, and it's important that we do each year. So, and congratulations to all of our fall athletes.
All right, thank you. Bridget?
I just wanted to echo as well, getting out to vote. If you haven't attended a referendum meeting, they are incredible. I think the district has done a fantastic job of putting together really excellent information. And then also, congratulations to all our sports teams. That's pretty amazing.
All right, thanks, Bridget. Brian?
I'd like to just encourage everyone to come to Viking Elementary 5 o'clock this Wednesday for the referendum meeting. Great information. It's a time for questions to be answered. We also last week on Monday had our first SELC meeting. And so Jill Mason and Kim Edwards updated the committee on the purpose of SELC. We have 63 policies that go through our committee, and this year we hope to cover a minimum of 20. Jill and Kim shared that the district will be transitioning to Neola for our policies. Neola provides legally compliant policies and legal updates to the policies as required. So we're going to spend the majority of our time focusing on transitioning our policies into the Neola policies. Kim and Jill also shared the district's dashboard key measures. The committee discussed how the goals were created, and then we just asked if we could just get an update on one of those per meeting.
Okay, thank you, Brian. I also wanted to thank everybody for coming out to the annual meeting tonight, and for everybody who was involved in organizing it and putting together presentations and helping me get prepared. And also want to thank, or actually congratulate, all of the sports, the volleyball, the girls cross country, and the boys soccer. So best of luck to them at their next game. Moving on to item 10.3, school board committee written reports. We have notes from 2 committee meetings to review, so please look at the April 20th, 2022 Personnel and Governance Committee notes and the May 16th, 2022 Student Achievement and Learning Committee notes. And then our upcoming board meetings, we have the last referendum open house at Viking Elementary at 5 p.m. on October 26th. And we have the WASB Fall Regional Meeting and Workshop in Onalaska on October 27th. And then in November, we have board meetings on the 14th and the 28th, and then in December on the 12th. And then looking forward to January for the State Education Convention in Milwaukee. That will take place the 18th through the 20th. Is there any other business that needs to come before the board at this time? If not, I would entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting.
So moved.
And do we have a second?
Second.
Who was that, Barb?
Yes.
All right. Chris has moved and Barb seconded to adjourn the meeting at 8:02 PM. Motion carried. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed signify by saying nay. Motion passes. Thank you all.